All right, so have a look at this post on Eddie Hearn's Instagram page. It's obviously him with Devin Haney, and the caption underneath, Eddie Hearn says, "The road is long. This young man will be back stronger than ever." On the post, you've got Oscar De La Hoya. Now, he didn't at Oscar De La Hoya. This post had nothing to do with Oscar De La Hoya, but for some reason, as is the case with a lot of the posts that Eddie Hearn puts up, Oscar De La Hoya feels compelled to turn up in the comment section. And he said, "You obviously never laced up the gloves, just like Don King and the rest. You don't know what it's like to fight inside the ring. Guess what? I do, and that beating will last for a while." Now, while De La Hoya's comments are accurate, obviously Eddie Hearn's never been in the ring and, he doesn't know what it's like. Why does De La Hoya feel compelled to do this all the time with Eddie Hearn? Now, you could say that Eddie Hearn has been giving Ben Shalom a rough time, and that's just what the industry's like. These guys play rough. I'm not aware of Eddie Hearn turning up in the comment section of Ben Shalom's Instagram posts all the time, or atting him on Twitter all the time, even when it's stuff that's got nothing to do with Eddie Hearn or any of his fighters. Eddie Hearn has reason to be annoyed at Ben Shalom for pulling his fighters out of purse bids at the last minute and all that type of stuff, because it's just unnecessary to do that type of thing. Whereas, again, Hearn and De La Hoya's behavior is weird. Now, we know De La Hoya's a weirdo, but he's taking his weirdo behavior to a new level now with Eddie Hearn. I'm telling you, constantly stalking him on social media. What is this all about? It's interesting, he says, just like Don King and the rest. He only mentions Don King by name. Don King's barely in the game anymore. Why didn't you mention Bob Arum, right? He's never boxed in his life. But no, he doesn't mention Bob Arum because he doesn't want to sour his relationship with Bob Arum. But he's happy to sour his relationship with Eddie Hearn, which is a strange thing. So Eddie Hearn put another post up. This was 3 days after the fight with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, obviously. Look how many likes it got. 690 likes on Eddie Hearn's own post, right? So then Eddie Hearn puts this post up on his Instagram page. It's him, obviously, at the press conference for the massive show in LA, which is going to be on August 3rd. And Eddie Hearn is the lead promoter on that show. And so the caption below was, "What a crazy 72 hours, low on sleep, but high on passion for the game." And of course, Oscar De La Hoya couldn't help himself. He had to chime in again. Look at this here. "Eddie, for the sake of British boxing, just stay in the UK and promote. Leave the real promoters to the US market where boxing matters. You had your opportunity wasting away hundreds of millions of dollars building nothing in the US." So anyway, Eddie Hearn replies and says, "Genuinely, are you okay? You stalked me like a crazed fan. You had a great win on Saturday, yet I consume your mind 24/7. Unfortunately for you, I am a global promoter with 18 world champions. You have 4. I have big plans to work with everyone and grow the sport globally and have some fantastic talent in the US market. Genuinely wish you all the best and hope you can enjoy what you do." Those are the words Eddie Hearn responded to De La Hoya. And in terms of the stuff he said about Eddie Hearn there, stay in the UK and promote. The real promoters handle business in the US market where boxing matters. And so boxing don't matter outside of the US, huh? Oscar De La Hoya is living in the past. He just is. And of course, he's insanely jealous, as I'm sure many of the other promoters are, that Eddie Hearn is the lead promoter on this LA show. He's insanely jealous about that, obviously. Anyway, De La Hoya put this up on his Twitter account. He said, "No promoter is coming into my territory and think they can take over my sport. This is war. This is aimed towards a person who doesn't know shit about boxing." Now, this tweet, because he didn't put a name to it, got a lot of people speculating whether he's talking about Eddie Hearn or he's talking about Turki Al Sheikh, because obviously Turki Al Sheikh is putting this show on in LA, right? He's the money behind it. He's bankrolling the whole thing. Since Eddie Hearn has been in the US market for years, it's understandable that people might think he's talking about Turki Al Sheikh because Eddie Hearn came over years ago. But Oscar De La Hoya, I don't know whether he, was spoken to by somebody or he's come to his senses or whether he wasn't referring to Turki Al Sheikh in the first place. This is what he posted. Well, Turki Al Sheikh actually posted this publicly. This is a private chat between himself and Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya in a private chat refers to him as Your Excellency. And obviously De La Hoya was kind of critical of the Saudi involvement in boxing. A few weeks ago, a few months ago, he was critical. And Turki Al Sheikh said he was disappointed. But then we have De La Hoya saying this, right? DMing Turkey Al-Sheikh saying, Your Excellency. Now, they all call him Your Excellency now, don't they? And this is in a private message. This isn't even for public appearances. Because some people might say, well, you know, publicly, maybe they've got some type of deal with the Saudis where in order to receive the money off him, they've got to publicly refer to him as His Excellency. Well, this isn't a private conversation. De La Hoya is bowing down and kissing the ring. So there you go. And Turkey Al-Sheikh made a point of posting this publicly. Think about what he's doing there. Think about the psychology of it. Like, his whole thing is, nobody disrespects me. And I'm going to show you now that De La Hoya's tweet wasn't aimed at me. And if it was, this is kind of his way of apologizing for it, right? This tweet, no, this ain't about me, Star. Look at what De La Hoya is saying now. Let me just read it out again. Your Excellency, as a legend in boxing and a humble human being, that De La Hoya is definitely not, I thank you for putting a terrific card in Los Angeles. I appreciate you and respect you. There you go. Oscar De La Hoya's behavior towards Eddie Hearn. You know, like when there's a girl who likes you, you don't like her back the same way. And she feels jilted by that. And so she starts talking bad about you to everybody because it's a cope for the rejection. That's the way Oscar De La Hoya is behaving towards Eddie Hearn. Like Eddie Hearn hasn't given him enough attention or something. And now Oscar De La Hoya is all insulting him constantly. Maybe deep down he wants to be Eddie Hearn's best friend or more. Who knows? De La Hoya. I'm waiting to see if De La Hoya's been to any of them Diddy parties, bro. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments, man.
And before I go, I want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers to my Patreon page. I cover loads of different topics in my weekly podcast, as you can see on screen right now, from current events to deep dives down the rabbit hole and everything in between. I'm really enjoying the feedback and the discussions we've been having on there lately. So if you'd like to join the conversation, just click the link in the description box below.
Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.